This is another kitchen window, and this is a propagation area today. Actually, this one right here is a jade. I just propagated this one today. These two do not look like they're gonna make it, but maybe. Look, there's green on it. Okay, maybe. Looks like it's got a bud on it. Propagations take anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. This one's an old one. This one has taken. I just kind of set them in there and pushed them in a little bit. This one's an old one too. It's not very big, but it wasn't very big when I put it in there. So anyway, this is a great month for propagations. Oh, here's another one. I don't know if I can get it on film yet, but there are, yeah, you can see it. There's new growth. This one's maybe a month old. So the little pots that I've been collecting behind my sink, I've been slowly filling them up. Another little spot next to the window. These are fairly new. That's just a leaf. It's one of my favorite ones. One of my hanging pots. That came from my hanging pot. But there's not a lot going on this time of year besides Christmas shopping, which I'm going to do this weekend. My string of pearls, just all of a sudden it was looking wonderful and then went downhill. This is the sucker from the passion flower. It lost its leaves, but it's still green. It's another propagation back there. So I don't work hard at propagating. I just, you know, slowly, in a relaxed way, once in a while I'll pull one or two and stick it in dirt. I don't water it right away. I watered about a week later. I have one more. This is the window behind my plant shelf. Looks like I got room for one more. It's hard to get back there. I water with a turkey baster. And when I was cleaning the shelf, I knocked a couple pots over. Thankfully, I've been trying out a shark vacuum, which I kind of like. So, let's see. So I busted out the shark and cleaned up the mess. That's pretty common for us who garden in the house. See, is that one? That one's a propagation. That one was in a mixed pot. I just took all the things that were in mixed pots and put them separately in clay pots. Down here also, these are small pots, so it's easy to squeeze one more in. This was one of my favorite ones, and look at it, it's a disaster. Believe it'll come back. Yeah, my string of pearls, I took the last couple pieces and put them in something. This one's coming back from the bottom. Okay, here's one of my passion flowers. One of the suckers that I mentioned that I had inside. It's green. It's getting a leaf. So I may have finally got a propagation off of them. Top shelf also has. So it's probably taken me a month or so to do all these little pots because I don't do very many at a time. My prices are when they're, you know, more mature, so it'll be fall when I sell them. It will be $3 or 2 for $5. Sometimes it's $2 or 3 for $5. Taking forever to bloom. Sure it's pretty. That pot was completely redone in the spring. Of course, I'll find 1 or 2 new ones to add to my collection. I propagated that when it was getting kind of tall. You can see the top's gone. So I'll use some of my propagations just to play with in the spring. This pot will be redone in the spring. It's got a lot of big. Hi to the fishies. Fishy, fishy. Added sand, new sand to the tank. It's a little stirred up. Fishy, fishy. Here's a fishy. Next time you see it, it'll be more clear. This was a Christmas present to ourselves 3 or 4 years ago. I've scratched it up pretty good, unfortunately. This tank popped a leak, which is why I'm putting sand in this tank. This is my hospital tank. This is where corals go to get well. Something right about this tank. Everything I put in here does well, gets better. Fish in here is shy. We set this tank up after being on vacation at the Outer Banks. So the start of this tank was Outer Banks sand and water, which is why I believe one of the reasons why it's such a good tank. Lots of live critters in it. Potting up 3 more geraniums. So this is a pot that my dad bought my daughter when she was sick. She was diagnosed this year with autoimmune. I have these beautiful pots from her business, Collective Treasures, and I'm going to surprise her, pot this up for the house. This is an update to something I did about 6 weeks ago, and it looked really terrible when I repotted them. And now they have beautiful foliage and flowers. Checking the greenhouse on the first sunny day we've had in a week, and I found this hydrangea stick with a leaf on it, but it has roots. Success. I think it's been about a month and a half, 2 months ago since I started, and I'm going to repot that one by itself. So I'm guessing this one has roots too. I'm only repotting one today, but as they pop a leaf, I will be checking them. So I probably have 3 in here that have roots at the moment. Middle section. These are newly propagated, so I won't be doing anything with those anytime soon. They'll just be left alone. And then in here, it's some new ones and some old ones. This is a blueberry. It's like a side shoot that I took off and planted late in the year. This rose stick, I'm not sure it made it. I mean, it did it first. I started it in a potato and then I put it in dirt. I don't know. These I have propagated before, and with success. So I'm thinking that'll work out. I do not know why I haven't had success with one of my favorite passion flowers, but I don't give up, so eventually I'll get it. And this year I got passion fruit, which means passion flower seeds, which have not sprouted yet. And I took some suckers off the passion flowers. They're in the house. They don't have any leaves on them yet, but I think they're taking. I did end up bringing that pot from greenhouse 2 into greenhouse 1. So when I came in, it was nice. I seen flowers. Daisies haven't bloomed yet. Look good though. They look healthy. I was a little worried about having them in that corner there in the front where the sun comes up. That's where it gets most of the sun, is in the front. And that means heat. Like, there's intense heat. So it feels good to walk in here. The work I did on it a week ago, it helped. And I'm running the light this year, which I haven't done in the past this time of year. Electric bill. I usually turn the heat off and let some of these things go dormant. And I'm always surprised by, you know, things that still are green even with no heat. But I paid my electric bill before my husband said anything. He smiled, and I was happy. I paid it early. So all he does this year is smile at me. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly how much money I made off of Garden Extras this year, but I lost track around $500–600. And my goal was to pay the electric bill. And I also paid for all of my dirt and all of my plants and, you know, the things that I need to continue. When I was propagating herbs, I decided to propagate the thyme in a different way. Push the stem in the dirt with the rock. And I have one down there. And oh, I have 3. And with the thyme pushed down in the dirt like that, it'll grow roots. And then I can snip it and repot that piece. And I did this method twice with this one right here. During late summer. I have a giant lavender plant over by the driveway. And I did the same thing. I pushed the stem down in the rock, down in the dirt with the rock, and held it there. And then about 4 or 5 weeks later, I went and snipped it and repotted it, and it's been doing great. I did that twice. The other one I repotted on the other side of the same garden. So I lost one a year ago.